Hello and welcome. This is the Market Wrap. I am Agam Vakil. The benchmarks have snapped a two-day losing streak with the Nifty advancing by around a little over 0.6 of the percentage points. We have a 74 point gains coming in, and a lot of that is on account of a heavyweight like Tata Motors, which advanced by nearly 7%. Gains in Bajaj Finance along with Finserv, Bharti Infratel and Nestle among others, which have pushed the indices higher. We do, however, have some laggards such as Eicher Motors down 4.5%. Yes Bank, Dr. Reddy's and TCS, well, not too much to speak for. Of course, TCS is one of the heavier weighted companies along with HDFC Limited. But let's take a look at your broader markets. And well, we have a fairly evenly poised advance decline ratio, but still more gainers against losers on the broader markets. And well, we do have Aarti Industries, which is advanced by nearly 11%, almost at the mark of 1,000 rupees per share. Bombay Dyeing looking at another good day of trade today. Eris Life Sciences advancing along with a whole host of pharma companies. Rail Vikas Nigam, Ircon, along with Affle India, all of them looking at good gains coming through. We do, however, have some weakness in Navbharat Ventures. Godfrey Phillips looking at a cut of around 10%. As is the case for KRBL, IFB Industries, along with Spandana Spurti, which is actually looking at a very sharp bout of profit taking, considering it was one of the key gainers in yesterday's day of trade. But on that note, I'd like to get in our markets editor, Neeraj Shah, for his thoughts on the markets today. Neeraj, what are you making of today's trading day?
Yeah, interesting day of trade, simply because the large caps did better than the broader end of the spectrum in the morning. Everybody would have thought that if indeed the global markets are stable, then the mid caps will come back and do well. That didn't quite happen. So, but individual stocks and some result reactions even seen for the large ones, right? I would love to hear from you what you made of Godrej Consumer, because the stock just fell like a rock at the end of trade. But Bajaj Finance, blowout numbers, and just, I'm sure you'll speak at length about it. But when you have, I mean, I think the sum and substance of all of this has been that large cap quality finance hasn't quite faltered too badly. Maybe an odd miss here and there. Otherwise, that has stayed pretty okay. Penultimate day to expiry, volumes obviously went up and went up quite substantially, so you would expect that, but volatility came off, Agam, much contrary to what everybody anticipated as well. So a bit of an iffy day today, because a lot of things happened the way people would not have anticipated them to. Well, let's see. The Fed meet today, not likely to be any needle moving. Right. But FNO expiry, Brexit and the union budget, sure. I think people are biding their time.
Yep, absolutely, Neeraj. And of course, we'll be watching out for some of those consumer names.
Yeah, but interesting numbers for some of these.
Sure. I mean, I would say it's still largely in line with expectations, if not a little bit of a miss here and there. But we also must know that the stocks which were weaker earlier had advanced to a certain extent in expectations of better numbers, but they were in line with expectations, so maybe some amount of profit taking. But Neeraj, thanks for that perspective there. But let's talk about, well, a handful of numbers, and we have to talk about the Bajaj Finance in general, because we've had earnings, and what a strong day of trade it was for this one. I'm going to get in Shefali Malik to talk to us about that. Shefali, what do you have for us?
A very strong set of earnings coming in from Bajaj Finance. So we already knew of the AUM's figure because the company reports that a few days back along with a couple of other details. So that was 35%. So that along with the fee income growth, because of that the NII grew, because of that the PAT grew 52% on a YY basis, and NII also moved up 42%. And apart from that, the asset quality was largely stable, gross NPAs remaining flat at 1.61%, that is on the headline basis. Net NPAs moved up 5 basis points. Slippages were higher at 936 crores versus 786 on a sequential basis. So Carvey element coming in here. Even the write-offs were higher at 380 crores versus 251 on a YY basis. And other than that, because of the Carvey element, the provisioning was higher, coming in at 831 crores versus 594 on a sequential basis. And some commentary also coming in from the management that they are seeing some uptick in the consumption categories since December, and which is continuing so far in January. And but they continue to remain in cautious mode in a couple of segments such as auto finance, unsecured personal loan categories, among others.
Sure. Well, Shefali, thanks for getting us those updates on Bajaj Finance. It was a strong day of trade, as I've already mentioned, but let's get in Sharad Dubey to talk to us about two other stocks that have made his radar. Sharad, what do you have for us?
Well, yes, Agam, the first stock I would like to address is Escorts. The stock had an operationally good set of numbers coming in for the December quarter. quarter itself, the stock had an uptick of almost 3 to 4% today in the day's trade. The revenues, the street expected that it would be marginally down, so it came in line with estimates. Revenues down almost 1% to 1,650 crore rupees. But what stood out was the margins. The margins levels are almost at 13% as compared to 12% on a year-on-year basis. So basically, margins expansion was seen due to the change in the product mix and also lower employee expenses and also other expenses. Now, the EBITDA also rose by almost 6% to 213.1 crore rupees, and the net profit rose by almost 11% to 155 crore rupees. We also pulled up the ANR chart to see what the analysts are thinking. So we have almost a 70% buy ratings, for 13 analysts, and the hold rating is almost at 21%. The target price set for the stock is at almost 753.2 rupees and seeing a return potential of almost 0.5% as the street sees the stock has actually run up. And the next stock is from the consumer durable space, which we will be talking about. The stock is Dixon Tech. It came out with this number just 15 minutes ahead of the market closing. The stock fell almost 4%. So basically the numbers were in line, but the revenue, the top line, did miss estimates itself, and also we expect that there was a profit booking. Now let us go through the numbers itself. We see that the revenues rose by almost 25% to 994 crore rupees, while the net profit rose almost 50% to 26.3 crore rupees. The EBITDA rose by almost 31.7% to 51.5 crore rupees, and the margins saw an uptick of almost 300 basis points to almost 5.2%. Now, if you see, one thing I'd like to point out is the Amber Enterprises is also going to come out with a set of numbers. And if you see from July itself, both the stocks had a really nice massive run up itself, and Amber Enterprises did touch its lifetime highs as well, and even Dixon did touch, but there was a profit booking. That's why we see a small dip coming in today, where the stock fell by almost 3.5% today. So that is something which we will be actually watching out for. And Amber Enterprises comes out with its results tomorrow, and the street has actually factored in a good quarter for the company as well.
All right, Sharad, thanks for getting us those updates on those two other stocks which are buzzing. Of course, Escorts and Dixon both are extremely important, or have become extremely important in the broader market. So, well, it does give you an idea about what we can expect from a whole host of other mid-caps which will come in with their earnings. But on that note, it's a wrap on the markets, but there's lots more lined up. Stay tuned to BloombergQuint.